Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. Or if you're new here, welcome to another edition of Kingdom Conversations. This week, we got another hot one for you. But before we get into all of that, Zoe's got some shout-outs.
Yo, what up? You know what time it is. Hey, shout out to all the listeners out here. We appreciate you. We appreciate the love, the support, and everything that you do.
Hey, this week, we're getting into it about cancel culture. So strap in, let the Kings talk about it. All right, good people, welcome back again to another edition of Kingly Conversations. As I am every single week, I'm Alan, man.
What up? You know what time it is. It's your boy Twine, a.k.a. Twine. Ask me about my podcast. Let's go.
Your friend, your mentor, Calvin D. Hill.
Wake up.
All right,
What's
man.
the topic, man?
So we talking about cancel culture, but I think Calvin is the one to put this down.
I did.
Let's get it.
I did because I wanted to
Because he hates it. He
discuss.
can't stand it.
Well, it's not so much that I can't stand it, and especially in our culture now, in our society. If you don't agree, this is what it feels like to me. If you don't agree to with the masses or the people that lead, I guess, or the celebrities, if you don't agree with them, then you get canceled. And that to me is not, it's not right. That's not cool.
So give an example of a celebrity that you have to agree with or you get canceled.
Okay, I can use a good one. This is a good one. The Hive. And everybody know what I'm talking about.
Oh.
That's a good one. You say something against the Hive if you want to. They come. And then they're going to cancel you. You don't think so?
What?
See, the Hive. You know who I'm talking about.
What is a hive?
The Bayhive.
The what?
Bayhive.
The Beehive?
Yeah.
The Beehive.
I like honey.
The
No,
Beyonce
What's
hive.
wrong with beehives? I don't.
Oh, my Lord.
Beyonce.
Oh,
and her
okay.
whole
And her
slew
fans.
of followers.
Her fans.
Yeah,
Slew.
a whole slew, this whole cane of. But again, like I said though, if you don't agree, they coming for you.
But if you don't agree with what?
Anything they possibly could say, and that's what you could be canceled. Okay, let's use the other extreme one, Kanye. Look at everything he said.
Yeah,
Now,
shout
it
out
doesn't
Kanye.
now matter. Now, I don't agree with nothing he say, not near a bit. But he said some pretty extreme stuff. And if they don't like what he says, look at what's happening. It's that mass ostracism. It's that mass withdrawal. It's that, okay, we don't support you, we don't deal with you, bye. That's the cancel culture. And to me, it's supposed to be a way of keeping people accountable for what they say, but that's not what it is. Because they don't agree with what he says. That's what I'm talking about. Is
First of all,
is that okay?
first of all,
is that okay?
Why do they even care? Let's get it. Why? Why is it such a big concern that, why do you feel as if you need to dive into somebody? Is it for attention?
As far as him?
No.
Anybody.
Just the cancel culture in general.
Oh, why do they care? I don't know.
Yeah.
Because they the popular. They the majority, or they're the they're the ones that say what
They.
goes. Yeah,
So now we doing pronouns.
them, those, they, that, thous. Yes, yes.
No.
Okay, and don't even go
No,
there.
I don't even know no
Don't even go
pronoun.
there because that's the same thing. If you don't agree, you could be canceled. The LGBTQ. If you don't agree, you could be canceled. It's not that you hate anybody.
Well,
Love anybody. Love it. But if you don't agree with what their thing is, then you're canceled. That's what I'm saying.
So I think the problem with that specific example is a lot of people who don't agree do hate. and they demonstrate their hate because
Well, I don't
I've often because even when we were in the Marine Corps, I put it like this at all times. I was like, if you know me, you know what I believe, but
Right.
that doesn't mean I'm going to treat you any differently than anybody else.
Right.
And I think that what ends up happening, especially for people who, because the problem I think we have today is everybody got an opinion and they want to share it on social media all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
And which is only weird because I think people, because I remember because Zoe was one of the ones that actually asked the question. Because one day I just posted, you don't know what I believe until I tell you. And people thought that I was having some kind of beef with somebody. It was just something that was like, you know what? All these people out here assume they know what you think and what you believe. Mm-hmm. But if I didn't open my mouth and tell you what I believe, you don't know. Because I was at a Washington Commanders football game years ago before they were the Commanders, right? And this was near the height of not standing for the national anthem and kneeling on the football field and all of that. And so I remember I'm just standing up because that's what I normally do. And somebody was like, I only said it to me now. I want to thank you for standing up for the flag. And I'm like, you don't know me. you don't know why I would or wouldn't have a reason to stand or sit. I could be sitting in here with terrible knees as a disabled veteran and can't stand long enough for it. But you would then have something to say if, So I was just like, people just need to shut up and mind their own business.
That's true. Ugh. Should have.
Oh, let me get a drum or something. So that's always where I'm like, okay, I think part of the problem is people feel like, and today people will ask you to have an opinion about everything, and I'm just one of those people that if I don't know enough, like even last week when we talked about the N-word though, and y'all brought up the comic whose skit I hadn't heard it, so I was like, I can't really make a comment on something I haven't seen.
Right.
I would say that I can make a generalization, but I can't make a direct comment on something I don't know about or haven't seen.
So, in your definition, you said something about celebrities being canceled because of the way they think and how they express themselves. Mm-hmm. Can you be canceled without the fame?
Not really.
That's a good question. That's a good question.
This only applies to.
I think it only applies to people with certain. No, not money per se.
Fame.
I think
fame and status.
No, I think with status, a certain level of influence with other people, because nobody know you. You say what you want to say. Don't nobody really care until you have a level of influence with other people. Then it's kind of like, okay, you better be careful what you say. Because you could possibly affect these other people. Public service, public figures,
anybody
public
that's
servants.
in the public eye enough.
Yeah. Those people.
I would also say, one of my former mentors, he said, dogs don't bark at a parked car.
That's nice.
And not that I'm calling people dogs, that's just a phrase. But people don't, if you aren't somebody, people typically don't have any. It doesn't matter what you're saying. I mean, you don't have enough. There's not enough gravitas. There's not enough gravity around you to influence anything, and so nobody cares. You could be railing. You can yell obscenities at your wall in your bedroom all day, and ain't nobody gonna care. So, I think having that status is part of it because every time we hear about it, it's generally from somebody that had a status.
This whole cancel culture reminds me of the olden times where people will walk through their city or wherever they live, and the community would line up on each side, and they would throw tomatoes and shame somebody, and just walk down the whole line. Yeah,
shame.
It's just so. Is cancel culture the same thing as shaming culture?
Like I said, I think it was supposed to be a form of accountability, but we've kind of veered from that.
So go
ahead. No, I think it was at one point in time. It was supposed to be calling people out for their misdeeds. The problem is if the people that are being canceled don't care, or that are being called out don't care, then what is your next step? Because for an example, inside the community, we all know that R. Kelly should have been in jail a long time ago, but we allowed it because he made good music. Same with Kanye. Kanye been an idiot for a long time, as Most Def and the crew, the backpack crew that he used to run with, so that he could get his break. He did them dudes dirty. He essentially pretended to be somebody so that he could get on, and then shun them, shun the people that put him on.
Here you go. There you go. So, with that,
Which one?
the
R.
Kelly.
Kells?
Okay, with that issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think we have turned a blind eye to the people and things that we enjoy. I'm trying to be. I don't want to get canceled, bro.
You ain't got enough status to be canceled.
Yeah,
but
well,
that is true. We turn a blind eye.
Yeah, we turn a blind eye. It's like we don't want to see the bad stuff.
Like, just give me my headphones right quick. Let me just do that.
So, okay, that's a good way to put that. I can leave that right there because that applies on all levels in our society.
It does. I mean, there's a whole lot of people that probably shouldn't be where they are.
Should be in jail.
Yes.
Should be under the jail.
Yes. But they are, but because they have either, whether it's money, status, or, because generally speaking in our society, if you have a platform, a large platform where you can affect people, then you're not held to the same standard as, the person making $25,000 a year.
And that's the truth.
And that's the part that, like, but we're gonna get into some of that next episode too.
You see it, don't you? You just read it?
Go ahead.
So, my question to y'all is, we talked about how this affects celebrities. How does it affect those people that are not in that stature? Okay. Like, how do the, I don't want to say common people in a negative way,
but it does.
But how does it do that?
So, for example, Facebook,
okay,
or cyberbullying, kids call it. If kids nowadays get online or get on these social media platforms and they say things that their culture doesn't agree with, then they get bullied or they get ostracized and picked on until it starts affecting their mentality. And then they go into these depressions and so forth, so on, and this long rabbit hole. It's very sad. But
so what you're saying is it induces anxiety and fear.
Yes. Yeah, for some people, like you said, if you don't care, you don't care. They care less. But for some people, it actually affects them.
To the point where they think they gotta go do something to themselves because
they gotta hurt themselves or kill themselves
Yeah.
because I'm getting bullied by these people online that don't know me, don't talk to me. No, they can see me in the store, won't even speak, but
and they don't see.
They have so much control over my life.
So do we hold a cancel culture, them, they, whatever, accountable for stuff like that?
Man, it's like trying to chase a ghost.
Exactly.
You can't hold it accountable.
Yeah, it's like trying to chase a ghost.
But I think
ridiculous.
I think also the issue there, I think, is because generally if they're getting bullied on social media, there really is no space where they don't get bullied at that point, because at least a third of the people on their social media are probably also see them every day anyway, either at work, at school, or wherever. So they're gonna, it doesn't really end. There's no stopping point for that.
So how does one fully express themselves when they can't get past the fact that they might get canceled, even though
you don't?
It don't even affect you.
Who said you get to fully express yourself?
You don't. That's the point.
We believe you get to fully express yourself, but you've never been able to fully express yourself.
Because in what ways can you, or haven't you been able to fully express yourself?
And everybody's social construct, whether it's in your family, whether it's in your school, in your community, it's only certain levels of you expressing yourself that's acceptable. It's when you go beyond, like I said, the popular opinion and everything else. When you start going beyond that and really saying, this is how I feel about it, okay, you're going to have a problem.
And the other part of that, too, is I think people don't, because they don't know how to
Disagree.
They don't know how to voice their opinion without, because if somebody is saying, well, this, they don't know how to talk their opinion through. They just, all they do is they give, a laser beam of an opinion, and then it's like, oh, well, why would you, with no nuance, no nothing, and so then people have an issue with it. Because I think most people, and maybe I'm incorrect, but I just feel like the vast majority of people, instead of having a one sentence opinion, if you said, hey, here's this paragraph, now they won't read it.
I'm about to say,
But even at
that.
that, like if they have that one sentence, why isn't that one sentence okay? It's them.
That may be, but I've also been the person who's always explained my position. But I've always been that way. So for me, it's different in that I'm always going to make sure you understand what I am saying and why I'm saying it, as opposed to just, this what I said, that's what I said, live with it, and then get punched in the mouth.
I think I'm gonna try that for a little while.
What?
And see what happens.
I mean, you can't try something that ain't you. Well, you can, but I don't know. You can try it for 30 days.
You can try it for 30 days, see what happens. I'm gonna try it.
I'm thinking of a question.
Okay.
So, in regards to cancel culture, have y'all seen it, or has it affected your workspace?
Yes.
And if so, how?
I've seen it. I have a young a person going through the transition, and so when I was introduced to them, they were a young man, so they're transitioning. Right, so they changed their name. Or they said they asked everyone to call them this now. So I, not having the compassion, I guess, or however you want to say, I know you. I met you as this. That's your name. I'm not calling you out of disrespect, but this is what I know you as.
Right.
So when you run up on me, this is what I'm gonna call you.
Run up on me.
Yeah, you run up on me in this situation. No, it ain't like that. It's just, excuse me. I don't think about it. I'm not consciously going to say, "Oh, your name is Zoe Fonzo." No, Zoe. I know Zoe. That's what I'll introduce as. You want me to call you what now? Okay, you got to remind me a couple times because I don't know. But that's that kind of culture. And then when you do it, you say the previous name, they feel like you're being disrespectful. The people around in the culture, in the workplace, feel like you're being disrespectful. I'm not being disrespectful. This is what I know this person as. So, it was a very short conversation because it went something like this. Thank you very much.
Well, and see, here's always my issue with people changing their name is, so I know more than a few people of the Muslim faith that have changed their name.
Right. And
so my thing is, if I can use their new name for them. Now there are people that are being disrespectful towards, like Muhammad Ali, still calling him Cassius Clay. That was his. I mean, he even 40 years later to intentionally be disrespectful. Now if it's brand new, and you forget the first couple times, but how long? What is the threshold of time that someone says, "I have changed my name. Please call me by this new name," and you call them by the new name?
Yeah, you call them by the new name when you remember it. Now, if you're doing it intentionally, then that's something different. But if you remember, it's okay. Call them by the name.
Because that's like we serve with somebody else. We serve with somebody who changed their name.
Yeah.
Now I ain't seen them in 20 years, so it don't much matter. But I know I know that they would prefer to be called a different name. So if I ever ran into them in these,
I'm gonna call you what I know you as until you remind me of who I'm supposed to be calling you as.
Yeah. In regards to workspaces, I haven't seen policy. I've seen policy changes. 1, and 2, I've seen spaces atmosphere change now to where the supervisors feel as if they don't have the same power that they used
Yeah.
to, because if they say something a certain way, then it's a problem. You have to now limit yourself to what you say now to people, because they can be, how do you say? They get offended, or they feel like you're harassing them or bashing them or whatever. And now everybody's on eggshells.
That's the thing. And for whatever reason,
Alan,
okay.
you
No,
can't
I work.
relate.
I work in a different space.
That's what I'm
in
I
the-
don't
in
work.
the
I don't
Marine
work
Corps.
in a space where people would have truck nuts on their car.
But in the Marine Corps,
Y'all do.
yeah,
Pause.
yeah.
No, I know.
Every day, they ain't nothing
They
new.
do.
ain't nothing new.
Look, I know the space
Military.
y'all are in, because I remember when we were in the Marine Corps, I was like, only in the military, and I was incorrect, so I do apologize, people. But only in the military can you be a 40-year-old and act like you're 12 and it be all good. I thought it was stupid then. I think it's stupid now.
It's the same.
I know. I know that environment's the same. That environment ain't changing.
It's not going to change. But
I would just be the odd man out in that environment.
They did change the environment as far as, like you said, they can't cuss at people anymore, can't yell at them. This was in the Marine
Look at
Corps.
y'all canceling
It was
y'all
crazy.
employees.
They're not allowed to yell at
Recruits?
They're not allowed to yell at them, and they're not allowed to make them run. It was an interesting thing.
This is paper. This is actual.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Man.
It's a thing.
Nope.
You can't call them devil dog no more.
Not
you
on
can't
duty.
call them devil.
Not on duty.
It's crazy.
Nope. I hope not.
Yeah, it's like that now.
Well, we
But
say we
the
hope
culture is
not.
different. The culture again. The culture has changed.
As long as you have the same lethality, I mean, hey, look, California Marines always been different. They ain't never been Parris Island Marines. They ain't never been Parris Island Marines are a different breed. They're aggressive and angry because them sand fleas eating you all the time.
Well, I'm telling you,
They out there with them palm trees.
they got rid of a lot of stuff that we.
But here's the thing: the Marine Corps at least always has, because in the '80s, people were marching their platoons into the swamp, literally into the swamp. Like, should we have been doing that?
Yes.
Should we have been like, all right, get out there, gator bait? Huey P. Newton. One day we're gonna talk about where gator bait came from.
Go ahead.
Y'all don't even want to know. Y'all don't even want to know where gator bait came from. Go ahead, Zoe.
Okay. So
Before I put my
when
hat on.
when has harassment been cool?
Always.
That's just a simple question.
I
How
get it. I
has
get it.
harassment
I get
been?
it again?
okay?
Culture.
Harassment
Culture.
has
What you mean
almost
culture?
Hazing. Go ahead.
harassment has almost always been okay, depending on who's doing the harassing. The difference is, I think now powerful people are being harassed and they don't like it, when they've been the one historically doing the harassing.
Final answer.
I don't think it's ever been okay. I think it's been tolerated. It hasn't been okay. It's just, like you said, it depends on who's doing the harassing. It's been tolerated.
Gotcha.
So it's like, okay, what am I being harassed for? Because I want to be considered a part of this organization, community, fraternity, sorority, whatever it is. I would tolerate this harassment because I want to be affiliated with it. So that's why I go through it. That's what it is. It's that old need to belong.
So the roles have reversed. Has it not?
But it's with the culture.
The harassees have become the harassers.
I guess.
If you don't
guess.
follow what I say,
Yeah.
I'm going to harass you. I'm going to counsel you.
Yeah.
Basically, is what you tell. Is what
well,
you tell
Yeah,
me.
and then you have to come to the conclusion as an individual, do I care?
And see, I think part of that problem is what I think has happened in current society is because social media gives everybody a voice. So a lot of people that previously didn't have or didn't feel like they had a voice, didn't feel like they could voice their opinion, didn't feel like they could share. Now you can voice your opinion to almost 8 billion people. all from your phone, right? So I think whereas in times past there might have been some people that probably wouldn't. I mean, because there are things that obviously have come out about people now that happened in the 90s.
Man.
Like if Wilt Chamberlain had to have social media, and he has talked about how many women he has slept with, he would not be able to do that now.
No.
But at the time, nobody knew, right? Or people knew, but people, it wasn't public knowledge. The people in and around the situation might have known, but it wouldn't have been public knowledge. Whereas today, you gonna be laying in the bed with one person and they gonna snap a selfie like, ha ha, got him. Whereas before, you would have had to break out a whole Polaroid and been in there like, then so it wasn't. So now,
Don't move.
Information is moving at the speed of light, and everybody has a voice. And I think that's where we've seen the rise of this, is people that previously felt like they didn't have a voice, didn't have a platform, now do. And everybody's in a rush to be first to everything or to respond to everything. And I'm like, even if you have an opinion about everything, which I generally do, it doesn't mean you have to voice that opinion. You don't have to fight every battle. Mm-hmm. Fight the ones that matter.
Okay. I like it. I have another question, or I had one.
Yes.
Let me see if I remember what it is. Oh, that's what it was. So, for all these people who have been canceled, celebrities or not, they may have been guilty, may or may not have been guilty, but what about the ones
guilty
that were innocent? How do you think the cancel culture has affected the people who have been innocent and who have been tested and tried and who have denied to go along with the flow?
I think that's just the price you pay. I mean,
Like they will even cancel people who not here no more.
Right, but that's stupid.
Well,
that's stupid.
well,
Man. Well, look, okay.
Here's the problem. This is where I think because one of the people that I don't know why he does why does he he does this to both of us, so that he does this to both of us though. So here's always my thing. If they were terrible people then, they terrible people now.
But no. I'm talking. Okay, so what do you mean they were terrible people then?
John Wayne was an absolute idiot.
Okay.
But he got streets named after him because his people loved him. But he hated everybody that wasn't his people, and he didn't like women. He didn't like any race that wasn't white, but he celebrated and had been. So now all of a sudden in the 2000s, when it's like, oh, you mean this guy was an absolute moron? Yes. Get rid of that junk. Burn it.
Gotcha.
Put him in a museum.
Yes.
Now, and that's not to say, because here's the thing. I think that everybody that, if you look closely enough at everybody, you're going to find flaws with all of them.
Absolutely.
However,
perfect.
What I can't, the people that I cannot give a pass to are the people who reject my humanity. I can't give a pass to them. I don't care if it was 1622. If you are in direct opposition to people's life and humanity, I got a problem with you. I don't care what era it was in, because life has always been life. Well, now tribalism is a thing. At the time, back in the way early days, I get tribalism because everybody was competing. Well, depending on where you lived in the world. If you lived in the tropics, you weren't. But everybody was competing over what was finite resources, especially if you were in, Europe or somewhere where it got cold. You really were competing over finite resources. If you were near the equator, you was good.
Okay. I was going to do something.
Did you have anybody that you were thinking of specifically?
Maybe.
So I can kick them while they're in their grave too?
All right, Michael Jackson.
Well, see, here's the problem. we don't know if any of the stuff about Michael Jackson was true.
I understand that. So
But
why can't you
but-
just let the man just lay wherever he
Well,
is
guess
and
what?
be
I do.
at rest?
Because guess who I know be lying?
Who be lying?
Them.
Who's them?
Them. D-E-M. They be lying.
All right,
D-E-Y.
that's a wrap. That's a
Dim
wrap.
and Day. They all lying.
That's a
Days and
wrap,
Dems.
man. That's a wrap. That's a wrap.
So I don't have a problem with it. The people, and if his kids don't have a problem with who he was, why should I?
All right. Well, I just
Especially
wanted to throw
since it
that out
seems
there.
like they pretty
I just
normal.
wanted to throw that
Was
out
there anybody else?
there. Anyway, closing thoughts, gentlemen. Cue
You
the
want to talk
music.
about Christopher Columbus?
Oh Lord. No, I'm
Here we
good.
go.
I'm good.
Cancel culture.
Yeah, cancel
He
culture,
should,
people.
he should be canceled. He was canceled.
Oh,
Then
my God.
they brought him back, put him on trial for his crimes. But whatever. Cancel
Yeah,
that dude.
that
man.
is true.
The only Christopher I acknowledge is Wallace.
Wrap it,
Biggie.
wrap it up, B.
Ugh.
Wrap it up.
All right, closing thoughts. Closing thoughts. Let's go. Cue the music, sir, please.
Music.
Make the music. No, I'm just joking. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Calvin. It's your
Calvin,
topic,
since
man.
your topic.
It's your
Hey,
topic.
what you got?
Tell them about that cancel culture. Tell them how you canceling everybody.
In this culture, if you don't have an individual mind and a backbone and stand up for yourself, I don't know what to tell you, because that's the way it is. It's not going anywhere. So be an individual. Stand your ground.
Nobody has ever been perfect. Before you start casting judgment and canceling other people, go look in the mirror, because I'm pretty sure you'll find something.
Got that beam.
Out of here, man.
Hey, if you want to be able to say whatever you want to say, I got one recommendation for you.
What's that?
Get off social media. Because you can't do it. People going to check you. If you want to put it out there to 8 billion people, somebody is going to see it and check you.
Don't let them
If you're-
snatch your chain.
Hey,
They gonna test you.
professional chain snatchers. Hey, we'll see y'all next week, man. Hey, we got a live coming up.
Yeah, we got
So-
that live coming up.
I want y'all to be aware of that. We're going to start
prepared.
talking about it now so y'all can be prepared and be there.
Live, son. The livest one.
Yeah. What day is that?
December 31st, right?
December
Yeah,
31st.
December 31st.
December 31st.
New Year's Eve live
I think that
With the
deserves
kind.
one. Can I get one?
with the cat.
Yeah. All right, man.
So
wrap
be
it
ready
up.
for that.
Yo.
We'll see y'all next week.
Yeah.